com, and I believe we have that up there. That facilitated a apology letter from the Irwin. Okay. Okay. Let's see if we can get Irwin Zucker to join us. We're going to see if Irwin... Okay. This is going to be such a circus. Okay, let's do this. Let's go to... I'm not going to host a meeting. What is that? I'm going to go... I'm going to call Irwin on the phone. We're going to get Irwin back on the phone here. And...
Hi, you got us. Irwin Zucker.
Okay, let's try his other number. We are going to go to his other phone number. Here. That was the number that just called us. Okay, well. You gotta love live radio, kids. Get a hold of us online at jiggyjaguar.com. We're going to try this again. Irwin, how are you, sir? Irwin, can you hear us? Can you hear us, Irwin? Irwin Zucker, can you hear us, sir?
Hey, can you hear me all right?
I've got you. Talk, my friend. I've got you.
You know, I think maybe you better call me.
Okay, well, I'll call you back then. Okay. We're going to continue to play tag with Irwin here. Tag, you're it. So, let's call Irwin back. And we'll continue to play phone tag. Okay. Let's see if Irwin can hear us. Try this again here. Trying to page Irwin Zucker.
Hi, you got us.
You've got us. Okay. Let's try a different number. We have a different number here. We have a 323 number, but we also have a 310 number. So let's try that number. See if we can get him that way. 3 minutes in, and we have yet to conduct an interview. Does Carson have this issue? Carson never did radio. Johnny Carson. Saja Babor. Maybe.
Please leave your message for...
Okay. Let's try his other number. See if we can get him that way. It is an entire episode of calling his phones back and forth. It's time for another edition of Calling the Phone. This week on Calling the Phone, we call this phone number. Next week, we call this phone number.
Hi, you got us. Irwin Zucker.
Irwin Zucker, baby. Okay, let's go to the email. Let's go to the email. We will try it. Let's try it again. Let's try Irwin again. We are going to go back to the telephone. We are now almost 5 minutes in. And
Hello.
There's Irwin. How are you, sir?
Can you speak up a little louder?
I will attempt to do it. Irwin, can you hear us? Irwin, can you hear us, my friend? We've got you. You're live. How are you, sir?
Well, now, if we get cut off on this line, you'll have to go to my cell phone.
Not a problem. Not a problem. Not a problem at all, my friend.
Yeah, just say there was a technical problem.
Not an issue.
We get cut off.
So,
Okay.
Irwin, is there a book in you? And you say there is. Tell us about it.
Okay, I'm here.
Yes. You say there is a book in you. Tell us all about this, Irwin. Tell us all about it, my friend.
Well, are we going to talk about, is there a book inside you?
Yes. Tell us about it, Irwin. Tell us. Tell us,
Well,
Irwin.
I believe there's a book inside of everybody who's listening to us right now. But there's certain steps that have to be taken, and that's what has to be done. Now, everybody should feel that they have something to say, and they could put it down in writing. And they should do a little writing every day. So is there a book inside you? I say yes. Everybody has a book inside them, and they should get started today with day one and try to write several paragraphs every day. They've got to think about their own background, what's important, what's made it interesting, and what the general public would like, you know. Now, books dealing with sex, health, and wealth are generally the bestsellers, really. But if you write a book about your family and your friends and the people you know, and make it interesting enough, make it a little humorous if possible, and make it in a way that people can profit from it, can learn from it. And now, don't go for the big books of several hundred pages. I think if you write a book about just for about 200 pages, it will go over very, very well. That's my opinion. So, is there a book inside you? I say yes. Now, you can write a book alone, or you can write it with a collaborator. I say write the book yourself first. Think about your background. Think about your early days, and make it interesting and provocative and entertaining and humorous in any possible way. And pretend that you're an unknown reader. You're an unknown reader reading what you're writing, and make it interesting enough. Okay, and get it going in a way that would be great for everybody concerned. And think about a book that is going to be maybe a big bestseller. Well, if it's not a big bestseller, just think of all the books that you'll have on hand. They all make great Christmas gifts for friends and relatives. And you don't have to charge them. You could just give it to them as a Christmas gift. You follow?
I've got you, my friend. You're amazing. Keep going. Tell us all about it, Irwin.
Well, anyhow, you just got to keep going. I've worked with almost 4,000 authors in my 65 years of book promotion and promotion of writers over the years. It's been a lot of fun, and my own twin daughters, Judy and Shari Zucker, as you know, are my favorite bookends. They've written about 7 books, but they're all cookbooks. That's their specialty, and that's what each of us has to look for. What is the specialty in each of us? What is the thing that sticks out? What is the information that you have that a person can learn from, that a person can enrich their lives and everything? I think that's very, very good. So they got to get going. Also, as a writer, you should be a good reader, and you should go to the library or go to your bookstore and pick out books that appeal to you and try to emulate those books and see if you can come up with a big bestseller. Now, you got to get started one way or the other. So either get on your computer or get onto an old-fashioned typewriter, or just write the book in longhand, which is not the worst thing. A lot of bestsellers started off in longhand, and that's what you might have to do. So just try to do a few pages every day, and then eventually you'll have an editor, somebody looking over what you've written. And don't worry about the title of your book too much. Really, I know I'm working on my life story, and I've got a couple of good titles for it. One of them is let's see, what was the title that I had? I had a great title. Yeah, the title is called Greats and Ingrates, and you're in it.
You're in it. Yes,
And,
that is a great title.
Well, but the title is not the most important thing. You've got to write a good book. You've got to have things that are easy to read. Don't get too overly technical. You know, the old cliche, keep it simple, and that's what it should be about. But I maintain when you're writing your book, keep it interesting, keep it informative, keep it entertaining, keep it humorous if possible, but just keep writing and writing and writing, and don't worry about the re-editing, because eventually you might get an editor. You might hire an editor. But no matter who's listening to this show right now, people who might like to be a writer, you have a golden opportunity, because there have been books in the past. Is there a book inside of you? Yes. I remember a gentleman, unfortunately passed away. His name was Dan Poynter, and he wrote over 100 books. He wrote over 100 books, and with a co-author, Mindy Bingham, together they wrote a book that was titled, Is There a Book Inside You? They're out of Santa Barbara, California, and you might want to get a copy of their book, you know, and you might want to check with a local bookstore, or I'll tell you what, go on your computer. Go on your computer and
I think we may have lost Irwin. I think we lost Irwin. So let's go to our other phone number that we have for Irwin. And see if we can pull the great Irwin Zucker out of... pull him back into the business here. I think we lost him. We'll see what happens here.
Please leave your message for...
Okay, well, we've lost Irwin. Okay, well, Let's do this. Pointer and all the books that he's written.
Yeah. Well, did I tell your audience to stay tuned for Charles Demokos, who's coming on in 1 hour with you?
Yes, indeed, Charles Demokos. We love him. We love him.
Well, the audience should stay tuned because in exactly 1 hour from now, your guest will be a dear friend of mine, Charlie Demokos. He's been on your show a few times in the past, and he's a very good author. His latest book is called Walking with the Dead. Now, he's going to talk about how books are made into film, because he's one of the key speakers this Thursday night in Los Angeles on a Zoom meeting that is available for people all over the world. So I'd like anybody who's listening to try to watch the show, Thursday night. Charles Demokos will fill in your audience on how they can tune into this Zoom show, which is very, very good. Can you hear me pretty well now?
I've got you. Keep talking, my friend. You're giving us good stuff here.
Well, also, I'd like to remind your audience, a week from today, you're going to have a very good guest, also a very dear friend of mine named David Mulatto. David Mulatto has written several books, but his latest book is very provocative. It's called I Was That Little Black Sambo, all about growing up and writing about it and meeting all sorts of people. He grew up in London. He was biracial, and the book is a terrific book because, as he says in the book, I am not one of you. I am not one of them. I am one of us. So he tries to assemble the right audience, and he hopes that they will go along with him. He's written some really good books. But anyhow, is there a book inside you? I believe that there is a book for people in everybody, but they got to work at it. It's like anything else. You just can't sit back and relax. So if you work with a computer or an old-fashioned typewriter, or if you do it by longhand, nothing wrong with writing a book by longhand. Many great authors started that way. Maybe there weren't typewriters in those days or computers, but you've got to put your words down on paper, whether in longhand or it's typewritten or on a computer. But anyhow, I believe that there's a book in everybody. You've got to make it interesting, got to make it provocative, you've got to make it entertaining, got to make it, if you can make it humorous, that's fine too. Just get the book down on paper. Try to do some writing every day. And you'll have to do this for about a month or so. And then you look for an editor. Well, try to re-edit the book yourself. Try to, if you have any friends who are good with grammar and corrections and so on, work with that person. And then try to get the book published. If you can't get the book published, you can have it self-published. This is a new era for self-publishers. Almost anybody writing a book today, if you want to publish it yourself, it's possible. And people are doing it. Am I right, James? You've heard that, haven't you?
Yes, we have. We love self-published books.
So it's a great thing. So is there a book inside you? You can write alone or with a collaborator. But you've got to pick out what you're going to do. Don't worry about the title of your book initially. That will come about when the book is complete. And you've got a possible publishing company or a possible editor to work with. and they'll come up with a change of your title if they don't like it. But if you have a good title, work with it. It's always good. And as a reminder again, James, I'd like your audience to listen to the guest who's coming up in about 40 minutes from now with you. And his name is Charlie DeMocos. He's written a book called Walking with the Dead. But he's going to talk about a Zoom program that's being put on by the book publishers of Southern California. Zoom, Z-O-O-M. It's a Zoom program, and he will inform your audience how they can tune in no matter what part of the world they're in. They can view this Zoom program, Books into Film, an update. It's put on by the Book Publishers of Southern California, an organization that I founded, believe it or not, James, 46 years ago. And I'd like to go another 46 years with it. Yeah. Now, over the years, I've promoted almost 4,000 authors in 65 years of book publicity and promotion. And among those 4,000 authors was my late wife, Deborah. She used the professional name of Deborah Hill. And also included my twin daughters, Judy and Shari Zucker. I call them my favorite bookends because they happen to be my favorite bookends. They're terrific young ladies. And they've written 7 cookbooks. Now, that's their niche. That's their shtick, as we say. So, like everybody else, they urge people to write about what you know. And when you think about what you know, you're the one who knows best what you know and what should be put down on paper, what should go on that computer, and get that book out. As I say, you don't have to worry about a title initially. Just work at it. You know, it's going to be a lot of fun. So do we make a lot of sense, James?
Yes. This is amazing. Keep going, my friend.
Well,
give us some more details there.
Yeah, well, you know, I'm in California, and you're in another part of the United States, and I hope this connection wasn't too bad. I hope it came through, and that it interested a lot of your people, so that they go and get inspired and start writing a book even today, no matter what hour. Now, as far as hours writing, a lot of people are early morning writers. I know a lot of people who write late at night when everybody's sleeping. But that's how they are. If they can go, they go at all hours. And it's worthwhile to write about what you know and what you can do. I've been very fortunate. I've worked with a lot of great authors. Among the authors I worked with, a gentleman who wrote a book called The Power of Positive Thinking, Norman Vincent Peale. He was very, very well known. I worked with the TV personality, Steve Allen, who came up with interesting books, mostly of the humorous nature. I worked with a famous author, Jacqueline Suzanne. I worked with Dinah Shore. I worked with Paul Rise. I worked with Veronica Lake, Zsa Zsa Gabor. But, you know, my favorite author of all time is the late Helen Gurley Brown. She wrote a terrific book called Sex and the Single Girl. It became a runaway bestseller. She wrote about what she knew. And later, Helen Gurley Brown became editor-in-chief of Cosmopolitan magazine. But it all boils down to this once again. You should write about what you know best, what you know, and just put it down on paper. Things can always be edited out. Don't worry if you're overwriting or you're writing too little, but you got to get started. You follow me, James?
I do.
Yeah.
I do. You got some good stuff.
People have to get started. They have to get going. Now, I got to get going myself. I have a lot of appointments today in Los Angeles, and I want to thank you profusely for your time. And I'm sorry about the technical problems we've had. Believe it or not, I've got 3 different phones on my desk, and there must be something in the air around where I live and work with the phones. There must be a technical problem in the air. So forgive us, but I hope a lot of it came through and you were able to pass the information on to your audience. And again, I want to thank you for being so courteous to all our authors who have been guests on your show. They all tell me that you give them an opportunity to talk.
Yes.
Now, that's great because they give themselves an opportunity to write. And once they write the book, they got to learn how to promote the book. And that's another stage in the book world. So I'm going to sign off a little right now. I know we've got a lot of things to do with your audience. So thanks again for all your time. And good luck with the guest who's coming up in the next hour, Charles DeMocos.
Yes.
He has a lot to say about how books are made into film. He taught that subject at 2 different colleges in Los Angeles. And with his wife, they've done a lot of good things in the book world. Okay, this is Irwin Zucker signing off. And I thank you again for your time.
Thank you, Irwin. Thank you, Irwin. There he goes, the fantastic Irwin Zucker. If you want to get a hold of us online, you can do so, JiggyJaguar.com. And we are going to take a time out. When we come back, we've got more coming up on the big program.